इंटर डिपार्टमेंट और इंट्रा डिपार्टमेंट पूरी इसकी तैयारी की है। यहाँ के हमारे इंचार्ज हैं जिसको हमने नोडल ऑफिसर्स बनाए हैं। सुबह 6 बजे आज से लेकर के और 10 तारीख तक ये डे एंड नाइट डिपार्टमेंट काम करेंगे।
And here is the peak at the pinnacle of luxury that awaits the G20 guests. Opulent suites exudes an air of regal comfort. A serene oasis for world leaders amidst their diplomatic endeavors. And fine dining becomes an art form here.
जैसे कि आप देख पा रहे हैं, हमने एक G20 डेलीगेशन के लिए स्पेशली हमने एक मिलेट बेस्ड थाली तैयार करी है जो कि 100% मिलेट बेस्ड है। इस थाली की जो यूएसपी है, इसमें कोई भी चावल, गेहूं या दाल का यूज़ बिना करते हुए भी हमने एक थाली कंप्लीट मील बनाई है।
In the heart of the city, steeped in history, the future is taking shape. New Delhi is prepared to ensure that the G20 Summit becomes a defining moment in global diplomacy. Bureau Report, India Today.
So we're going to be hosting the G20 leaders. Huge deal for India. Several hotels that have been handpicked right now to ensure a grand welcome for world leaders and ensure that there's a comfortable stay for them. One such venue is the Taj Hotel, which has been chosen, handpicked by officials to be, in fact, having some of the biggest leaders from across the world. Preparations are continuing. Let's get you a ground report.
Business Today TV got a taste of the welcome plan for the global dignitaries. Everything from a traditional tilak to raw silk stoles, specially crafted by hand by craftsmen in Odisha.
A red carpet welcome awaits the G20 leaders and their spouses next week in New Delhi for the mega G20 Summit. In fact, what they are going to be treated is with not just an Indian traditional welcome, but cuisines from the like of Southeast Asia, Arab, and cuisines from the 29 states of India. I'm here at Taj Palace in New Delhi, which is one of the iconic hotels preparing to welcome the world leaders. Come, let's take a sneak peek.
There's a very clear understanding and brief that yes, we have to showcase India and we have to showcase what we are known for. Our culture is so vast and varied, and so is our geography. The tastes and preferences, the allergens and the dietary preferences will be kept in mind while we create the menus and we cater to the head of states.
Well, are you also wondering what are the world leaders during the G20 Summit stay in New Delhi going to eat? Well, I'm at Taj Palace, New Delhi, and look at this table. I mean, quite a dream for a lot of us who love food. Who doesn't love food? Let's go to the talk of the town, which is the miracle behind millets. In fact, this does talk about India's mega food story. The government of India has also been talking about how the millets will be the center focus point when it comes to the food tasting for the G20.
There is some sweets made of millets. There is kaju made of millets, and samosas. Samosa, what we have done, generally samosa made by the flour, maida. So we, instead of maida, we have used bajra ka flour in it.
Oh, this is with bajra.
Yes, this is bajra.
The Indian samosa with bajra, so a healthy samosa.
Yes, 100% this is healthy, and somewhere we have used jaggery instead of sugar.
More than 120 chefs have been deployed by the hotel to meticulously craft an extensive menu designed to cater to each G20 delegate's taste palette. With over 500 dishes spanning breakfast, lunch and dinner, there's a wide range of options including Western, Indian, health and fusion awaiting the VIP guests.
Well, Well, the city is being spruced up for an international event almost after a decade under its theme of Atithi Devo Bhava. Karishma Sudani reporting for Business Today Television with cameraman Alok Kumar Das in New Delhi.
So there's a lot of talk among Delhiites about whether life will come to an absolute standstill. Well, there will be some curbs in place. So what does that mean? Let's break down for you what won't be functioning, what's closed in the national capital during the G20 weekend particularly. Government and private offices will not be functioning. Work from home has already been given as a directive to many private officers who like to work on a Saturday. Schools and colleges also shut down similarly because the government has said that all of this can't function in central Delhi. The Supreme Court is shut, but that really won't be an inconvenience considering weekends usually the top court doesn't function. Banks will be closed this weekend in the national capital. Now, shops and malls will be closed, but these are only in the NDMC limit, which is the New Delhi Municipal Corporation. So essentially, in central Delhi, shops and malls will not be allowed to function. So some of your most iconic places, like Connaught Place, like Khan Market, Janpat, Palika Bazaar, all of these will be closed down because these are the places where, in fact, you have a lot of activity and where world leaders will be commuting in the G20 weekend. Besides these locations, retail liquor stores are closed, but not across Delhi. It's again in the heart of Delhi, central Delhi, where it will be shut down. And in these areas, which we're referring to as the NDMC limit, autos will not be plying, neither will taxis. So those are the curbs that have been put in place. What will function? What remains open without being disturbed at all? The Delhi metro services will continue. There's only one station, which is the Supreme Court station, which will be closed off. There are others who have been identified as sensitive metro stations, but they will remain open. Buses along the ring road of the national capital, despite the fact that it's not in the New Delhi Municipal Corporation area, as we highlighted earlier, will be functioning and plying. Now, essential services, that means medical stores, groceries, all of that will be functioning across the national capital. Markets that are outside the New Delhi Municipal Corporation will very much be functioning as well. All your plushest, biggest hotels in the national capital have been booked for the weekend, for the G20 Summit. Each of your world leaders are going to be put up at one of the top hotels of Delhi. In our next report, we break down for you which hotel will be occupied by which leader and the kind of preparations are underway as we got a sneak peek into all that's been done, including the kind of food that will be on offer for the G20 leaders.
Over 30 hotels, more than 3,500 rooms. New Delhi gets ready to host the world's most powerful leaders. More than 10,000 hospitality professionals are engaged to serve delegates who arrive to attend the G20 Summit. Luxury hotels, including ITC Maurya, Taj Palace, Le Méridien, Shangri-La, are all decked up to host the head of states.
A Rudraksh that you can definitely see is part of the mala, considered to be very auspicious for prosperity and health.
So this is a fusion of Indian tradition and culture.
Absolutely,
in
sir.
the hospitality.
Absolutely. You'll see everywhere in the hotel the G20 and one earth, one family, one future. This is the motto and this is the vision that I think the country is with at the moment, and we want to continue with this. And I think we are very privileged as a group that after doing G20 meetings in most of our hotels across the country, we are able to host two good friends of our nation.
From comfort to food, Delhi's luxury hotels are leaving no stone unturned to give the leaders the best experience. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, a famous local dish of each state will be served to the guests.
Mushtaq ji, if you could elaborate this amazing experience that you've set us and how the people who will be here at Taj, how you guys will be hosting them, if you can explain.
Like we have got a spread of food which includes Indian, Western, and we have promoting millets also over here. The delegates which will be coming, we are catering to international guests also. So we have incorporated the food like we have multiple dishes over here. So we are showcasing our Indian food also, we are showcasing the international food also.
A mix of Indian and Western cuisine is finalized. Many of the dishes millet-based, in line with Narendra Modi government's big push for millet. Taj Hotel's head chef Arun Sundarraj, who served several heads of states in the past, says all arrangements are in the place.
You know, we've got dishes which are millet based, so that we can actually showcase कि millet में you know what all things you can do with millet, हमें millet के साथ क्या क्या कर सकता है. I would say तैयारी is very very strong. काफ़ी काम किया है हम लोग ने और काफ़ी टाइम से प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं इसके बारे में कि हम किस तरह के you know dishes serve करेंगे, what exactly we are going to serve.
The Le Meridia too has a well-planned welcome prepared.
G20 की तैयारी आज नहीं शुरू हो रही, 1 साल से तैयारियां शुरू हो चुकी हैं G20 के लिए. तो बहुत ख़ास मेहमान हैं और हम चाहते हैं जैसे हमारे प्रधानमंत्री बाहर जाते हैं उनका इतना अच्छा स्वागत होता है. वी फील सो प्राउड अबाउट इट. तो हम चाहते हैं कि जितने हमारे गेस्ट आए उनको भी बहुत अच्छा वेलकम दिया जाए, इतना मेमोरेबल एक्सपीरियंस दिया जाए. एंड इंडिया इज़ नोन अतिथि देव भव, जो हम हर अपने एम्प्लॉय को भी सिखाते हैं हर टाइम.
Vishweta Singh, Anamika Gaur, Ashutosh Mishra and Shreya Chatterjee from Delhi. Bureau Report, India Today.
So if you've still got doubts and some questions about what Delhi will be like in the days to come, I know there's a lot of talk about a lockdown. So let's get you some FAQs right now on what the G20 in Delhi will look like for you, the average Delhiite. First, will Delhi be locked down? The answer is no. There will only be restrictions. There will be some curbs in place, but there's no question absolutely whatsoever at this point of a lockdown. The second question we came across quite a bit is, will malls, will markets be closed across Delhi? The answer is yes, but in limited parts. So mostly in central Delhi, which is where you're going to be seeing a lot of G20 activity. There, malls, markets, CP, Khan Market, all of that will be closed. Are vehicles allowed to ply? Will you as a Delhiite be able to take out your two-wheeler or your four-wheeler? The answer is again yes, but it depends on where. There are several roads right now that have been completely closed off. Delhi Police has issued a number of advisories in this regard. But again, if I had to highlight for you, central Delhi must avoid largely. Will metro be functioning? Overall, yes, there will be only 1 or 2 stations that will be shut. One is the Supreme Court station. The Delhi Police is working right now with Delhi Metro officials to identify if they need to shut out more. But otherwise, metro will be functioning smoothly. Will liquor shops be closed? Again, yes. But again, these restrictions are only in a few places. In central Delhi, the New Delhi Municipal Corporation limit, there you will see liquor shops being closed. Will medical shops be open? Now, it's important to highlight for you that in case of any emergency, your essentials are 100% functioning. So yes, across Delhi, wherever you live, wherever you want to go, medical shops are accessible, will be open. Similarly, with grocery stores as well, to ensure there's no inconvenience to any of you, all essentials will be available. Grocery shops, irrespective of the location, will be open again. Now, importantly, will you be able to fly out of Delhi? I know a lot of you have booked tickets for the weekend. Will IGI Airport be functioning? The answer is yes. There are some airlines who've cancelled their flights, but that schedule is already out. So if you're traveling, you can go to the IGI Airport. There will be some roads that are inaccessible, but the Delhi Police has also issued an advisory on how you can get to the airport without any problems. Now, we're going to continue getting you all the latest updates on the G20, the preparations, as well as the precautions, the restrictions mentioned by the Delhi Police. That's it from me. Thanks very much for tuning in to the special broadcast.
I do not want to condemn that minister from Tamil Nadu because he has exposed himself. But question is, whether Congress party will be still in alliance with DMK. These people are anti-Hindu. They do not like Sanatan. They do not like Hindu religion. Regarding whether Sanatan Dharma good or bad, that I don't want to join the debate with him. It was there from 5,000 years ago, and Sanatan will be in India till sun and moon is there.
A fresh row has erupted between the AAP government and Delhi LG VK Saxena, this time over what AAP is calling Shivling-like fountains that have been installed in the national capital ahead of G20. AAP has accused the Delhi LG of hurting Hindu sentiments. Here's a report.
As Delhi gears up to host the G20 Summit, the Aam Aadmi Party and Delhi LG VK Saxena are at loggerheads over Shivling-shaped fountains which have been installed in the national capital. AAP has objected to the installation of these fountains and accused Delhi LG VK Saxena and the BJP of hurting the sentiments of crores of Hindus. Delhi Minister Saurabh Bharadwaj sought an apology from the LG, calling Shivling-shaped fountains an act of sin, even seeking an FIR against the Lieutenant Governor. VK Saxena said that fountains are not Shivlings but art pieces made by an artisan from Rajasthan.
शिवलिंग को इस तरह से चौराहे पे लगा देना और उसका फुवारा या झरना बना देना, एलजी साहब ने पाप किया है और उस पाप का उन्हें प्रायश्चित करना चाहिए। इस तरीके से धार्मिक आस्था को, इस तरीके से हिंदुओं की भावनाओं को आहत करना मैं नहीं समझता कि कोई अच्छी बात है।
वो शिवलिंग नहीं है, वो आर्ट पीसेस हैं। अगर उसमें किसी को शिवलिंग दिखाई पड़ता है, भगवान दिखाई पड़ता है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, मुझे इसमें कोई आपत्ति नहीं है। लेकिन कंट्रोवर्सी मैं समझता हूं कि ऐसी कोई होनी नहीं चाहिए।
The national capital is getting all decked up to welcome about 40 country heads on September 9th and 10th.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 40 and minimum 28 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 31 and minimum 26 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 31 and minimum 24 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 24 and minimum 21 degrees. Chennai, maximum 32 and minimum 26 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 29 and minimum 22 degrees.
Welcome back to Tech Today. I'm your host Ayush Alavadi. Now there's been a slew of announcements from Reliance and Jio. Now you saw the Jio book, first day, first show here on Tech Today, but now there's so much more. Now one thing that really caught our eye is the Jio AirFiber. What is this technology all about? Well, we've put together a special report and then we're going to bring the experts in to tell you how this technology, if implemented successfully, could be a game changer.
Jio AirFiber, uses our pan-India 5G network and advanced wireless technologies.
Reliance has announced new wireless internet services for homes and offices, calling it Jio AirFiber. At Reliance AGM 2023 recently, the company introduced a brand new product called AirFiber in India.
With Jio AirFiber, we can supercharge this expansion with up to 150,000 connections per day.
This is Jio's attempt to figure out last-mile connectivity for high-speed internet. The company has emphasized that with AirFiber, users will gain access to wireless internet at speeds comparable to fiber optics connections. This also means a goodbye to bundles of wires around the house in getting fast internet connection. Jio AirFiber will allow users to have access to a range of applications with low latency and high bandwidth like streaming video, gaming and video conferencing. The service will also include features like parental controls, support for Wi-Fi 6 and more. Are you confused between JioFiber and AirFiber? Let's break it down for you. JioFiber is based on fiber optic technology where the user needs to get the fiber optic wires straight to their homes, where it is then either connected to a router or directly to the device that needs internet connection. JioFiber will offer more stable high speeds, but it requires more dense infrastructure to provide connectivity. The Jio AirFiber on the other hand,
Nippon India Mutual Fund. Wealth sets you free.
One nation and one big fat political controversy. Stalin Jr.'s words, Udayanidi's words that has led to a political storm. All of that coming up. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. These are the headlines. Stalin Jr. remains defiant on his Sanatan Dharma attack, says did not target one religion and said nothing wrong. Politics rages over Udayanidi's Sanatan remark. Priyank Kharge backs Stalin Jr. BJP tears into Congress, asks, is this official stand of India bloc? As tensions continue to escalate in Maharashtra, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde chairs high-level meet over Maratha quota, says no one should politicize this issue. Massive India Today impact on jailhouse luxury. Kapil Vadhavan shifted to Maharashtra's Nashik jail. India Today exposes scamsters' free run in jail. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath to invite Prime Minister Modi for inauguration of Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. Yogi to meet Prime Minister Modi in Delhi tomorrow. As India gears up to host the G20 Summit, rattled Chinese President Xi Jinping to skip G20 Summit sees red over India cementing its position as a global power. And ISRO releases fresh images of Vikram lander conducting second soft landing on moon, completes hop experiment from current location at Shiv Shakti point. Politics erupts over Centre's proposed plan of one nation, one election. The opposition has slammed Centre's 8-member panel headed by former President Ramnath Kovind to discuss the possibility of holding simultaneous Lok Sabha and Assembly elections, calling it an eyewash. Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge said the proposed bill will sabotage Indian constitution and democracy, questions why the Election Commission was not included in the Centre's committee. Meanwhile, AIMIM Chief Asauddin Owaisi called one nation, one poll a disaster for parliamentary democracy. Says government has already decided to go ahead with the bill and the committee was just a formality. On the other hand, BJP defended its proposal, saying one nation, one poll would save cash and free up time for developmental activities in the country. Meanwhile, political analyst Prashant Kishore said one nation, one poll is beneficial for both government and the voters, but it cannot be implemented overnight.
It's not about centralization of power because that's what the Constitution provides, but it also showcases that the leadership of the Congress does not have much to state on this particular subject because this particular aspect is beneficial to the country. You end up saving money. You end up non-politicizing the developmental issues. You end up working for the infrastructure development in a focused way for at least 4.5 years, and balance 6 months in run-up to election, you start to accuse each other, abuse each other and do whatever you need to do.
One nation, one election, एक देश एक चुनाव असंभव है बिना संविधान संशोधन के बिना। संविधान का संशोधन होना जरूरी है। संविधान संशोधन के लिए आम सहमति की ज़रूरत बनती है, तो ये सब बाद में देखा जाएगा। अभी तो ये एक समिति का गठन हुआ है। हमारा विचार बिल्कुल साफ है। कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष और पूर्व कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष ने साफ कहा है कि ये संघीय ढांचा पर एक भयंकर आक्रमण है।
One nation, one election is a diversion from the India alliance. They are scared. Suddenly they did not call a parliament session during for the pandemic. They did not call it for Manipur. They did not call it for Chinese intrusion. Suddenly one election, one nation, one election is coming back. We need more than 5 constitutional amendments for it. We need the People Representatives Act amended for it. Where has the consultation happened? In the federal structure, they also need to consult with the state governments. Where have they consulted with the state governments? What about, have they consulted with the security forces? It requires massive deployment of security. So I think it's just a deviation.
भारत जैसे बड़े देश में मैं खुद इलेक्शन से जुड़ा रहा हूं। हर साल 25% भारत का हिस्सा करीब करीब वोट करता है। तो पूरे टाइम सरकार चलाने वाले लोग जो हैं वो इसी चक्र में फंसे रहते हैं। आज यहाँ इलेक्शन, आज वहाँ इलेक्शन। अगर इसको एक बार या 2 बार में किया जाए तो ज्यादा बेहतर होगा। उससे खर्च भी बचेगा और जवाबदेही भी बचेगी। जनता को भी एक बार ही निर्णय लेना होगा।
That is for Ghulam Nabi Azad Sahab to understand and explain in what circumstances he is the only politician to have been nominated. अगर one election, one nation का मकसद ये है कि regional parties को खत्म किया जाए, इनको जो है मिटा दिया जाए, तो फिर आप कैसे कह सकते हो ना आपकी नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस या कोई भी रीजनल पार्टी इसके सपोर्ट में होगी। अगर के मकसद यही है कि सिंप्लीफाई हो, प्रोसेस सिंप्लीफिकेशन की बात अगर है तो उसमें हमें कोई एतराज नहीं है।
मैं समझता हूं कि कहीं ना कहीं ये इंडिया गठबंधन के बनने के बाद जो घबराहट है उसके कारण एक नकली बहस प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के द्वारा वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन के ऊपर चलाई जा रही है और कहीं ना कहीं अडानी के करप्शन से ध्यान हटाने के लिए वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन की बात हो रही है।
All right, let's cut across to my colleague Aishwarya Paliwal and Rahul Gautam, who are both joining us with the very latest that is coming in. Aishwarya, what are you getting in from the Bharatiya Janata Party? Is it just to maybe begin a conversation, the committee set a narrative, or is there actual seriousness of mooting and introducing a one nation, one election bill this special session?
Well, one thing that I can very clearly tell you, Preeti, is the fact that the government, especially Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they want that discussion on one nation, one election is something that should happen. He's been speaking about it not for the past few months, but the year 2016. He's been speaking about it to political parties. We also saw how in the year 2019, in fact, a lot of opposition parties were also called by the Prime Minister, and there was a healthy discussion that took place. The government at the moment says that if we have one nation, one election, which in fact used to happen in our country till the year 1967. So they believe that it is something that can be done, but yes, all the opposition parties are up in arms against it. The Bharatiya Janata Party believes it will do normal people a lot of good. It will save a lot of money and will also make sure that we are not regularly in the election mode. This is what at the moment, Preeti, the BJP believes in.
All right, let's quickly bring in Rahul Gautam into this conversation. Aishwarya, Rahul, what is going to be right now the strategy of the India Alliance, especially the Congress? Rahul, can you hear me? All right, we seem to be having a problem with our connection with Rahul Gautam. We're going to try and get in a Congress perspective. But with that, let's quickly move on into the news bulletin with the very latest that is coming in. where by-polls across the country are concerned. Well, tomorrow they're all slated, whereas it's 6 states across the country that will hold by-polls to 7 seats tomorrow. These states will hold by-polls to fill vacant seats in what are set to be the first contest between the BJP-led NDA and the opposition India bloc ahead of several assembly polls in major states later this year. The seats that go to polls on Tuesday include Dhupguri in West Bengal, Dhumri in Jharkhand, Ghosi in Uttar Pradesh, Bageshwar in Uttarakhand, Boksanagar and Dhanpur in Tripura and Puthupalli in Kerala. All these by-elections planned, especially in by-polls like Ghosi. This is going to be the first test where India alliance is concerned. Interesting to watch as all these 7 by-elections are due tomorrow. All eyes on these polls as well. All right, we're going to be cutting across to my colleague Samarth Srivastav, who is getting us the latest coming in from Uttar Pradesh, as well as Indrajit Kundu, who is going to be joining us from the state of West Bengal with more. But like I pointed out, viewers, 7 seats across 7 states are going into polls, and to take you through the seats that are up for by-elections, and very, very important, especially where certain states are concerned, because this will be the true test, especially that of Ghosi in Uttar Pradesh, where it will be the India alliance technically facing off with the Bharatiya Janata Party. To give you a figure, the seats that go to polls on Tuesday include Dhupguri in West Bengal, Dhumri in Jharkhand, Ghosi in Uttar Pradesh, Bageshwar in Uttarakhand, Boksanagar and Dhanpur in Tripura and Puthupalli in the state of Kerala. All right, let's move on right now. In the news bulletin, we're going to try and connect to our reporters. There seemed to be a bit of a technical problem there. But moving on in the bulletin, tension continues to escalate in the state of Maharashtra today. The Maratha Kranti Morcha held bandh in many areas of Maharashtra, denouncing last week's Lathi charge. Amidst this escalation, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde held a high-level meet today to discuss the demand of the community. Here's a detailed report.
Tensions escalate in Maharashtra. The Maratha Kranti Morcha held bandh in many areas of Maharashtra on Monday, denouncing last week's Lathi charge on the protesters in Jalna who were demanding reservation for Marathas. Manoj Jarange Patil, the leader of protests, who is on a hunger strike, has demanded Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis' resignation. The protesters are blaming Fadnavis, who is also the State Home Minister, for the Friday Lathi charge.
एक सर्कुलर निकालने के लिए एक दिन काफी है, तभी हमने 2 दिन दे दिए। सरकार ने सर्कुलर निकालकर मराठवाड़ा सह महाराष्ट्र का सबका न्याय देने का काम करेंगे। ये काम करना है, ये हमारी मांग आहे उनको आणि वो करेंगे अशी आशा आहे
की दादा तुम्ही फडणवीसांचा राजीनामा तरी घ्या किंवा मग त्यांची साथ तरी सोडा। आम्ही तुमच्याकडे सकल मराठा समाज तुमच्याकडे खूप आशेने बघतो आणि या ठिकाणी जे गुन्हे दाखल तिथं झालेले आहेत हे गुन्हे ते शासनाने त्वरित मागे घ्यावेत, कारण त्या तरुण मुलांचं सगळ्यांचं आयुष्य या ठिकाणी बर्बाद होईल। मी दादांकडे मी खास करून विनंती करतो।
The face-off worsened on Friday after police tried to take Manoj Jarange Patil to the hospital. Protesters targeted state transport buses and private vehicles and clashed with the police, leaving many injured. State Minister Girish Mahajan visited the hunger strike site on Sunday night, attempting to negotiate a truce but failed. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has ordered a probe into the Lathi charge and protests on Friday. The state government has appealed for peace.
सरकार पूरी गंभीरता से मराठा समाज को आरक्षण देने के लिए काम कर रही है और मराठा समाज को आरक्षण मिलने तक सरकार चुप बैठेगी नहीं। सरकार पूरी कोशिश करेगी ये आरक्षण फुल प्रूफ होगा और उसका लाभ मराठा समाज को देना ये भूमिका सरकार की है।
Maharashtra Navnirman Sena Chief Raj Thackeray on Monday met the people agitating for Maratha quota.
परंतु मी आता या सर्व लोकांना सांगितलं या गेंड्याच्या कातडीच्या लोकांसाठी आपला जीव गमावू नका। त्याच्यासाठी काय एक रिझल्ट गेला त्यांना फरक पडत नाहीये पण आपल्यासाठी महत्त्वाचं आहे.
An earlier government headed by Devendra Fadnavis has implemented 16% quota for the Marathi community in 2018. But this was quashed by the Supreme Court in 2021. The protests for Maratha quota could become election issue ahead of 2024 Lok Sabha polls. With Pankaj Khelkar in Jalna, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let's move on now. KS Ishwarappa, known for his controversial statements, is yet again in the news. Firing a fresh salvo at the Siddaramaiah government, KS Ishwarappa said that Operation Kamla will begin soon in Karnataka. Slamming Congress ex-Karnataka Deputy CM said that the grand old party has no future in this country. Launching a scathing attack, KS Ishwarappa went on to say that Congress will be wiped out from Karnataka after 2024 Lok Sabha polls. Hitting back at the BJP, Congress leader Meem Afzal said that BJP should be ashamed after losing in Karnataka. Meanwhile, Congress spokesperson Lavanya Balal Jain demanded Election Commission to take action against KS Ishwarappa for not respecting constitutionally elected governments.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ ಭಾರಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸುದ್ದಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಶಬ್ದ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ನಾವು ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಬಂದು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಅವ್ರ ಹಣೆ ಬರಕ್ಕೆ ಒಬ್ಬ MLA ತೊಗೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಏನು ಬರೆದಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯ ಹಿಂದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಮುಂದೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇರಲ್ಲ.
Where is Mr. Ishwarappa now? Where is Mr. Ishwarappa now? He's at home. He can give all the interviews he wants. They have already given him voluntary retirement. Now because now इतना टाइम है तो कर रहे हैं, करेंगे ना, उतना तो बात ही करेंगे, करने दीजिए.
For a senior leader like K. Ishwarappa to talk about Operation Kamala so openly shows that the BJP does not respect constitutional framework, the constitutional values or the constitutionally elected government and people's constitutional rights. The Election Commission and the courts must take cognizance of this statement of Mr. Ishwarappa.
देखिए बड़ा शर्मिंदगी भरा बयान है उनका कि वो बहुत साफ तौर पे कह रहे हैं कि वो ऑपरेशन लोटस करते हैं कि या तो वो आप सभी ने हमने सुना था महाराष्ट्र में भी 50 खोखे 9 टोखे के नारे. ये साफ दर्शाता है कि भाजपा एक इमोरल, करप्ट, अनएथिकल सरकार है और उसको ये एडमिट करने में भी कोई शर्म नहीं आ रही.
With that, I'm going to go into a quick break. To stay with us on the other side is our fact check segment.
Once again, India Today wins Best Channel of the Year.
Thank you very much, viewers, for making the India Today Group the most awarded TV news network at the ENVA Awards 2023.
भारत स्वतंत्रता और विभाजन के बाद से डेमोक्रेसी के रास्ते से आगे बढ़ा. सन 1950 में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लागू हुआ. 52, 57, 62, 67 में वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन हुआ. क्या वो 4 इलेक्शन तानाशाही थे? जो देश पार्टियां कह रही हैं वो तानाशाही अब है, तो क्या वो ये कहना चाहते हैं उसमें नेहरू जी ने तानाशाही की? कांग्रेस तानाशाही पार्टी थी जो वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन था.
Well, I always wanted a tank for my preferred car at home, and then Land Rover launches the Defender. Now we know all about Land Rover and of course the Range Rovers we've had on the show, all their off-roading capabilities and what amazing cars they make, well, for all your adventures. But this is an expensive beast and we'll give you the price at the end of this Tech Today special. But what's it like as a luxury SUV? Is it only for enthusiasts? And what's the real tech on display that makes everything click in this particular Defender? That's what we're going to find out on this episode of Tech Today. When you talk about ride quality, yes, this is a stiff suspension which works for luxury SUV city driving as well. But the main thing about this particular vehicle is that Land Rover is no longer operating on a ladder on frame construction. So what you get now with the Defender is a monocoque, and that changes the whole experience altogether. It's not as bumpy and it's still capable of off-roading, of course, but it's also a little bit more practical when you're trying to show such a big beast off in the city. Its biggest disadvantage here in India, let's get that out of the way, is its price. Nearly 1 to 2 crore rupees depending on the variant that you buy. Well, that's where it gets tricky. It's a CBU, and coming here to India, it's up against maybe the BMW X7 or the Mercedes GLS, which are very practical, luxurious cars here in India. But this is not meant for that buyer. If you want to buy a Defender, you need to understand what it is capable of. And what I want to tell you is that something laudable about what they have done with this particular vehicle is the fact that, yes, it was known for what it could do in the rugged outdoors and as an adventure off-roader. But now the real differentiator is the tech, be it the TRS, what they've done with the suspension, that air suspension we showed you earlier, or even, well, the PIVI Pro and the kind of tech that works inside the car and outside. The purification is just endless in terms of making this car even better than its predecessor. And I think that is, well, something we're going to take away from our time with this particular vehicle. I'm a tech geek. Ayush Elavadi, your host on Tech Today, and all I can say is that yes, it's expensive and most of us, including me, cannot afford this vehicle, but let a kid dream.
You are watching Fact Check segment where we bust fake news. A video circulating on social media shows a group of white people chanting Indian Vedic mantras. Those sharing the video claimed that the event took place in the White House, the official residence and workplace of the President of the United States. However, India Today found that the video in question is from Croatia and not related to the White House at all. The video showed the Vedic chant Sri Rudram performed by the European Veda Union in Croatia, a country located in Central and Southeast Europe. This fact check on viral fake news is done by India Today's team Afwa. With that, a quick break. Stay with us for the latest news and updates. This is AI Sana signing off.
We know how to protect Karnataka farmers. If BJP, JDS, they are doing politics. They demanded 25,000 cusics of water. We agreed for 3,000. Now court has given 5,000 cusics. The matter is in the court. Again, we are appealing before the authorities. That has to be reduced because there is no rain. BJP also knows the problem. When BJP was in power, when Janata Dal was in power, at this time of distress, what they do, what they did, I don't want to do politics.
Now, in a significant milestone for India's space exploration, the Indian Space Research Organisation has successfully launched its first solar observatory mission dedicated to the study of the sun called the Aditya L1. This happened this morning. Let's have a quick look at this report.
Aditya means the sun, and L1 is a point between Earth and Sun that offers an uninterrupted view of the closest star of our galaxy. Hence the nomenclature of the latest ISRO project. Sun is the main source of energy of this solar system and holds the biggest secret of this universe. Aditya L1 of ISRO is the first Indian attempt to study and understand the sun.
Aditya, placed on Earth-centered orbit, will embark on a 150 million kilometer journey from Earth's sphere of influence to different viewing points around the sun.
It will be placed in a cruising position at L1 between the Earth-Sun system in the halo orbit. The temperature at the surface of the sun is about 10,000 Fahrenheit or 5,600 degrees Celsius. So there's no way anything comes remotely close to its surface without burning down to unimaginable ash particles. So all sun missions are posted at different viewing points between the sun and the earth. These are called Lagrange points. These points are used by the spacecraft to station with minimal use of fuel while they continue to study the sun from a safe distance. There are a total of 5 Lagrange or L points. Aditya would be placed at L1 that lies between Earth and the sun.
Aditya L1 carries 7 payloads.
4 of them will carry out remote sensing of the sun and 3 others will do in situ observations. To understand changes in Earth's ecosystems, study ice mass, vegetation, biomass, sea level rise. These observations and studies will help understand the groundwater of Earth and different natural hazards like earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, and landslides. In total, 9 solar missions have happened so far by countries like the US and the European Union to different Lagrange points of the sun. Aditya L1 comes with the promise to open up a new galaxy of knowledge for India.
Powered by UBI, good people to bank with. Co-powered by PolicyBazaar.com, हर family होगी insured.
Sanatan Dharma politics explodes. DMK scion, Stalin's son, and Tamil Nadu's Youth Welfare and Sports Minister Udayamnidhi makes a shocking, deplorable statement.
சிலவற்றை நாம் ஒழிக்கத்தான் வேண்டும், எதிர்க்க முடியாது. கொசு, டெங்கு காய்ச்சல், மலேரியா, கொரோனா இதையெல்லாம் நம்ம எதிர்க்க கூடாது, ஒழித்து கட்ட வேண்டும்.
Says Sanatan Dharma needs to be eradicated. Use inflammatory language. BJP guns for the India alliance. Maintains it's an insult to Hindu dharma.
राहुल गांधी जी उदयनिधि स्टालिन के इस वक्तव्य पर कि सनातन धर्म को जड़ समेत समाप्त करना चाहिए, इरेडिकेट करना चाहिए, इस पर आप खामोश क्यों हैं? क्यों चुप हैं आप? कुछ तो मुंह खोलिए कि राजनीतिक स्वार्थ के लिए आप भी खामोश रहेंगे और तेजस्वी यादव भी खामोश रहेंगे.
Asks the Gandhis to make their stand clear.
घमंडिया गठबंधन के घमंडियों, तुम और तुम्हारे मित्र रहे ना रहे, सनातन था, सनातन है और सनातन रहेगा.
The Congress gets into damage control.
वो उनकी व्यक्तिगत राय होगी, हम उससे सहमत नहीं.
सर्वधर्म समभावना is the Congress ideology.
An all-out political storm. But is it the first time a political leader has insulted a religion? 2 days ago, Swami Prasad Maurya of the Samajwadi Party had called Hinduism a hoax. Parvesh Verma, Kapil Mishra of the Bharatiya Janata Party had used Udayamnidhi-like derogatory language against the Muslim community, bang in the middle of the Delhi riots.
सारी समस्या का एक ही इलाज है और वो इलाज है संपूर्ण बहिष्कार.
हम शांति से जा रहे हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद हम आपकी भी नहीं सुनेंगे अगर रास्ते खाली नहीं हुए तो।
The use or rather misuse of religion is an old political trope. Udyanidhi is just the new cover of an old election-beaten edition. Dharma double-speak, all guilty. To the point this evening. But the question all of in this is the Congress silent? Well, they did hold a press conference where they said that for the Congress, it respects all religion. But is that enough? Because the BJP now has found the perfect pitch to bat on, especially and attack the India alliance. More so, the language of Udyanidhi. Could he have just come out and said, if I've offended anyone, I apologize? He hasn't quite done so. Why not? Let's cut across to our panelists this evening. Joining me first is Manikam Tagore, Congress Lok Sabha MP. Mr. Tagore, first up, sir, the BJP is now asking a direct question of the Congress, whose ally is the DMK, part of the India alliance. The question is, where does the Congress stand? It's a question which has also been asked directly of the Gandhis. What is your stand? Which is the Gandhis and the Congresses when it comes down to the kind of derogatory, inflammatory, many would suggest, borderline fascist, many would say, of the usage of words by Mr. Udyanidhi?
One thing is very clear, that Congress party has made it very clear that we respect all the religion. And for us, all the religious beliefs we have a lot of respect, and Sarva Dharma respect we have it. As Mr. Venugopal, the General Secretary organization, has made it in a statement today. But the BJP wants to divert from the real issues. They are trying to spin it in different ways and get this issue going, because every political party has different policy and ideological positions. DMK for 50 years have a political stand on this issue. They had been alliance partners to BJP in that time also. Therefore, these are all the things. Every political party have different ideological things, and there is a common ground on which we work on India alliance. For the BJP's plan to spin it and divert it on the India alliance or any other party alliance partner is not right. And we are united in our common goal to get rid of the RSS Modi-Shah regime in Delhi. For that only India has been formed, and we have a positive agenda to make the Indian politics more democratic in nature.
Mr. Manikam Tagore, I do understand somewhere down the line it has put your alliance, especially your political party, between a rock and a hard place. But the question is, sir, there is only that much that can be given to that this has been the ideological line of the DMK. The fact is, I want to ask you directly, do you agree with the language used by Mr. Udyanidhi, where he uses the word eradicate? He uses the word like COVID, like malaria, mosquitoes.
We need to understand it on what context he spoke. He was speaking on a book, progressive writers conference. Therefore, I had not seen the full speech of it. Therefore, every politician makes some kind of statements which is in different context. Mr. Modi spoke about Congress Mukt Bharat. That means to finishing the Congress. We can't just literally translate it to be that he is going to kill every congressman. So we have to be very clear that political statements in context are important. We should not try to give a spin to it. BJP is trying to do it, has done it for the past 2 days, Sunday and Monday. They are diverted for this only. And the BJP leaders from top to every leader, from the Home Minister, from Defense Minister, their party presidents, all are jumping Sunday and Monday itself. They are not ready to concentrate on the real issues. Manipur is burning. Again, violence in Manipur has started. The employment numbers are in a very difficult stage. Finance Minister is not ready to speak about it. The inflation is high. She is not ready to speak about it, but she is ready to speak about this kind of statements. That's the unfortunate part of it.
But Mr. Tagore, the BJP can turn around very well and say you are not ready to speak about this issue because you keep talking about there is context. For the benefit of our viewers, what could be the context of the language used by Mr. Udayanithi? And also, how difficult has this made things for your alliance? Because you have at one end a partner like Shiv Sena that has, the bricks and mortar of that party has been built on the tenets of Hindutva. And then you have a DMK which comes out and says eradicate Sanatan Dharma.
No, we are to understand it. Every political party, as you are a senior journalist, you have covered many years about political organizations. Every political party has their ideological positions. Shiv Sena has one, left parties have one, we Congress party have one. Therefore, Trinamool and Congress party and NCP may have similar kind of ideological positions because they are all the one-time congressmen from in the Indian National Congress. Therefore, we will have different kind of positions other than the Congress family. But the left parties will have their own positions. But we can't think that everybody's position, they have to finish it and they should come on one platform. That is not possible in a political structure. For example, for BJP also, there are parties from the Northeast who supports beef eating. In northeastern states and others, there are in Nagaland, the People's Friend Party speaks about the beef eating issues, and in Meghalaya also. Therefore, that is all some kind of regional parties lines. For a coalition means alliance can't be on a common ground. We have to find some kind of acceptable common issues on which we wanted to work. And we can't leave our ideological positions, they can't leave their ideological positions, and we can't be answerable for others' ideological position also. We are
but okay, all right. Mr. Manikam Tagore, appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you, sir, for joining us. But, you might have different ideologies, but ultimately you're a part of one alliance, so therefore questions now will be asked, sir. And when it comes down to what Mr. Udayanithi is saying, one can come out and say that he should apologize for what he said. Because if he's hurt a sentiment, and it's a huge chunk of sentiment where India comes from, then come out and say, I'm sorry if I hurt your sentiment. What's the ego in that is what many are asking. Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Manikam Tagore. I want to go across to our other panelists this evening. Dr. Ganga Sahai Meena, Associate Professor, JNU. We also have Riju Datta, National Spokesperson, TMC. Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party. I want to cut across to, if we have Sanju Verma, we don't have Sanju Verma yet, but all right, let's cut across to Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party. Ms. Verma, the fact is, what Udayanithi has gone ahead and said is not just defamatory or derogatory, it's borderline fascist. One must understand that. Having said that, there have been many instances earlier as well. 2 days ago, you had a Swami Prasad Maurya who came out and said that Hinduism is a hoax. Before that, there have been many from your own parties as well who's used very similar language for particular religions as well. Do you see the Dharma double speak is common where all political parties are concerned?
Preeti, I just want to make one thing very clear, that when BJP leaders have spoken out of turn, we have had a zillion debates on your channel, on your show. I've been on umpteen occasions. And I've always said that, come what may, cutting across political ideologies, there is no scope for vandalism of any kind. There is no scope for vigilantism of any kind. And there is no scope for hate speech of any kind. But today, let us address the elephant in the room. I find it very upsetting, and I'm using the word upsetting. I find it very upsetting that each time the opposition needs to be held accountable, people still hold a gun to the BJP's head. Today, it is not the BJP which needs to be accountable. Today, it is not the BJP which needs to answer questions. Today, Udayanithi Stalin needs to answer questions on A, why did he compare Hinduism / Sanatan Dharma with dengue, COVID, malaria, blah, blah, what have you? I'm appalled that he did not even bother to apologize. He actually brazened it out, saying, bring it on. I challenge anybody. I'm ready to face the law of the land, blah, blah. And what I want to tell people of the I.N. Ghamandiya Alliance, did Rahul Gandhi utter a word? Because Rahul Gandhi तो अपने आप को जनेऊ धारी हिंदू बुलाते हैं. Prior to 2017 Gujarat elections, I have not forgotten till date. He visited 38 temples wearing his Janayu on top of his kurta. Has Priyanka Vadra uttered a word? No. What did KC Venugopal say? KC Venugopal is not some, Tom, Dick or Harry. He is one of the most senior most Congress leaders. He said, we believe that all religions should be respected. We believe every faith should be respected. But he did not condemn what Udayanidhi Stalin said. And I want to remind Preeti just one thing. To Udayanidhi Stalin and to Karti Chidambaram, the son of out on bail P. Chidambaram, he also said, we are not against Sanatan Dharma. We are against a hierarchical caste-based society which Sanatan Dharma propounds. Excuse me, Mr. Karti Chidambaram, when the Congress and the DMK go to Virudanagar, go to Tirunelveli, go to Kanyakumari, or they go to Tuticorin, they ask for votes in the name of the Nagar community because the Nagars are dominant there. When they go to Chennai, when they go to Vellore, when they go to Vizupuram, they ask for votes in the names of Pallars, Mallars and Dalits, who are the dominant community there. When you go to Kanchipuram district, you ask votes in the names of the Mudaliyas because the Mudaliyas are dominant in Kanchipuram. When you go to the western part of Tamil Nadu, you are all praises for the Kongu community because the Kongu caste is dominant in western Tamil Nadu. When you come to southern and central Tamil Nadu, you ask for votes in the name of Mullu Kothar community because the Mullu Kothars are dominant there. So if there is one party which has, followed the politics of appeasement and appropriated that, used it to their advantage, and then has the audacity to lecture on caste-based politics, and I will just end by saying one thing, Preeti. Udayanidhi Stalin clearly says we are followers of Periyar, and the biggest gem of Periyar is that Periyar at the age of 72 married his own daughter. I don't call that any form of progression. I call that as regressive. I don't even call it incestuous. That is as devious as it can get. So I want to ask all these Periyarites, I want to ask all these people who follow Periyar, who we all know wanted a separate Tamil country. He wanted a separate Dravid Nadu. If given a choice, under the garb of progression, will you marry your own daughter? Thodi to sharam karo. And you're giving a lecture to Sanatan Dharma because the Supreme Court, as Dharmendra Pradhan today said in his press conference, the Supreme Court has two mottos, Satyameva Jayate and Yato Dharmas Tato Jaya. Where Dharma resides, there is victory. And you have the audacity to lecture Sanatan Dharma.
But Sanju Verma, your point's well taken. Points well taken, but let's not be under any illusion. If you're a Sanatan Dharma, then I follow the Arya Samaj. The fact is, we come from privilege and at a point where we can, in our religion, actually criticize our religion for the caste-based system that has been followed for years, and where even today, our social political narrative, you come from Maharashtra, you know what's happening in Maharashtra today, which is being fought on the back of the caste system in this country. You have a whole uprising against your own government in Maharashtra asking for reservation, ma'am. So criticizing our own religion because you and I have the privilege doesn't mean blasphemy. My simple submission. Having said that, I want to cut across, get in Riju Datta as well as our other spokesperson into this conversation. Riju Datta, the fact is, I understand you have an alliance. One understands that you all have different ideologies. Why is it so difficult to come out and say what he said was wrong?
In no uncertain terms and not mincing my words, Congress and my Supreme Court has already made a statement.
Riju Datta, we are having a huge problem with your audio link. Will you please rectify your audio link? We're going to come right back to you. We're going to try and rectify Riju's audio link, but I want to also cut across because, it's not as simple as to suggest that everything is all hunky-dory, all well with the Sanatan Dharma. I think the beauty of Hinduism and the possibly Sanatan Dharma is that those who follow it have the privilege to criticize it. And Dr. Ganga Sahai Meena, Associate Professor JNU, for someone who studied, the religion so closely, I want to bring you in, sir, and I want to ask you a direct question. Maybe the choice of words could have been much better because what Udayanidhi says was borderline fascist when you use words like eradicate, like COVID, like malaria. But having said that, there are deep issues, deep-seated problems where the cultural context of Sanatan Dharma is concerned, which we are still living, be it political, social narrative of the country.
I have to speak in Hindi.
हाँ जी बोलिए सर।
देखिए जो उनका स्टेटमेंट है वो पूरे द्रविडियन मूवमेंट के प्रभाव में वहाँ के लिटरेचर, सिनेमा, वहाँ के लोगों का इस तरह का विचार है। उसी को उन्होंने एक पब्लिक मीटिंग में, पब्लिक गैदरिंग में एक्सप्रेस किया। इस तरह के विचार द्रविड़ आंदोलन में बीच बीच में आते रहे हैं और वहां के लोग उसको एक्सेप्ट करते रहे हैं, लेकिन चूंकि वो एक पॉलिटिकल पोजीशन पे हैं, मिनिस्टर हैं, तो उनको अपनी भाषा का इस्तेमाल करते वक्त सावधानी बरतनी चाहिए कि वो एक अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल भाषा का प्रयोग ना करें। हमारा संविधान हमें आलोचना का अधिकार देता है, अभिव्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता का अधिकार देता है, लेकिन साथ में हमको देखना पड़ेगा कि हम किसी धर्म की आलोचना करके कोई उन्माद फैलाने की कोशिश तो नहीं कर रहे, किसी की भावनाएं आहत तो नहीं कर रहे। इन बातों का हमको ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा। जो बातें स्टालिन ने कही वो बातें कुछ दूसरे शब्दों में पेरियार ने कही, कुछ शब्दों में फूले ने कही, कुछ अलग शब्दों में डॉक्टर BR अम्बेडकर ने कही, लेकिन भाषा की मर्यादा, एक संवैधानिक भाषा का प्रयोग करना ये बहुत जरूरी है। इस बात को उनको एक जिम्मेदार पद पे होते हुए ध्यान में रखना चाहिए था। मेरे ख्याल से उनका स्टेटमेंट कोई इंडिया गठबंधन का स्टेटमेंट नहीं है, लेकिन चूंकि वो एक गठबंधन में हैं और इसलिए लोगों के लिए मुश्किल हो गई है कि उसके साथ खड़े हों या उसके खिलाफ खड़े हों। इस तरह की भाषा की तो निश्चित तौर पे आलोचना की जानी चाहिए। हाँ, ये देख सकते हैं कि आज जब किसी धर्म में समस्याएं, हर धर्म में समस्याएं, हिंदू या सनातन धर्म में समस्याएं तो दूसरे धर्मों में भी समस्याएं, क्या उन पर हम इस तरह से खुल करके बात कर सकते हैं? अगर बात कर सकते हैं तो निश्चित तौर पे की जानी चाहिए। उसके लिए कितना स्पेस हमारी डेमोक्रेसी में बचा हुआ है, इसका हमें आकलन करना चाहिए, लेकिन निश्चित तौर पर एक संवैधानिक दायरे में ही ये बातें हो सकती हैं।
बहुत शुक्रिया मीना जी, आप हमसे जुड़े। रीजू दत्ता, if we can come back to you, the question, you know, it's all well to say that we have our ideological platform, they have theirs, you know, DMK comes in from certain kind of politics and so do we. Why can't political parties like yours, like Congress, instead of getting into this explanation, come out openly, criticize for what it is?
Preeti, I don't know you have seen the video bite or not. My party supremo, Ms. Mamata Banerjee, has openly come out and said that we respect Sanatan Dharma. And we object, rather than by saying that we condemn, she has clearly said that it is in our opinion that, and we humbly request all the leaders of the Indian alliance that not to make irresponsible statements that can hurt the religious sentiments of any community for that matter. Sanatan Dharma means eternal religion. That we believe in rebirth, we believe in soul. The Sanatan word comes from Bhagavad Gita, and there is a large section of people in this country. India is a secular democratic country, and the beauty of this nation is unity in diversity. So we believe in religion, we respect religion of all people, of whoever reside in this country, whatever they want to believe in. So when you are saying something against Sanatan Dharma, you are going and hurting the sentiments of a large section of people in
so,
this country.
So, Datta, why not urge your alliance partner to come out and openly apologize instead of being defiant?
Look, I'll be very blunt. I am the spokesperson of Trinamool Congress. I am not the spokesperson of DMK. I believe that if he has hurt the sentiments of a large section of people, the onus is on the DMK and Mr. Udayanithi Stalin to, take the call. If he says that I will not be apologetic and I am going to continue on his stance, then it is the onus is on him. As Trinamool Congress, as the spokesperson of the party, as a part of Indian Alliance, we do not agree and we do not support the statement that he has said. We step aside from it and we respect Sanatan Dharma.
Sanju Verma, Sanju Verma, you opened the statement saying that today the BJP is not responsible. I understand, because there is always a certain amount of whataboutery to everything. And there are times when, it favors you, when it doesn't. But I'll ask you again, man. Issues like Tejasvi, we are playing out his own reaction, Tejasvi Surya, where you have a Kapil Mishra, where you have a Pravesh Verma, where you have a Giriraj Singh. The language has been equally offensive as an Udayanidhi man. Why does then it become a different trope than this?
Preeti, with no offense to you, let me just say this, because, I know that you appreciate, candor. And I saw your tweet regarding Pravesh Verma. Tell me, in that speech of his, which you have referred to in your tweet, or should I say post, now that it is no longer Twitter but X, in that speech of his, did Pravesh Verma utter the word Islam or Muslims? I challenge you to play that bite. He never uttered the word Islam or Muslims. Preeti, let's be very fair. And what did Kapil Mishra? Please, now you ask me a question. Preeti, have the patience
Madam,
to listen to it.
am I saying anything? I'm listening to you.
Yes. What did Kapil Mishra say during the peak of Shaheen Bagh protest? He asked for the protest area to be cleared of all protesters. It could have been Hindus or Muslims. Did Kapil Mishra say that Islamists ko yahan se nikalo, Musalmanon ko nikalo? And did Pravesh Verma use the word Islam and Muslims? I would in fact urge you to take down.
Ma'am, I will now, you ask me questions. Now I'll answer because you have pulled out a tweet or a post of mine where I also called Udayanidhi fascist, where I also a statement fascist.
I compliment you
now
on that.
no, it's not about compliment. But you ask me, what did each of these leaders say? Kapil Mishra did not just say ke ye road khali karo. Kapil Mishra said the streets of Delhi will become a contest in the crudest of Hindi between Hindus and Pakistanis. What does that Pakistani refer to, ma'am? You and I, ma'am, let me complete. Let me complete.
Did he use the word Muslims?
Madam,
did he use the word Muslims?
Madam, let me complete. You want to get into you want to take Sanju Verma, you want to take
Preeti, you're lying.
Sanju, madam, you can listen. The fact is,
you're lying, Preeti. I'm sorry,
not lying. Pakistani. Tell me what does Pakistani mean?
All Pakistanis are Muslims, Preeti. Come on, Preeti. And now you are indulging.
Madam, are you telling me he didn't say that? He didn't mean it. Okay. I believe you. I believe you that Kapil Mishra did not mean. I believe you, Kapil Mishra. Okay. If you think he said it, madam, don't argue with me. If you're going to come out and pick a battle with me, avoid it. You're my guest. You are my guest. You're Madam, don't scream. Right? You've asked me a question, so learn to hear the answer. You pose a question, then have the capacity to hear the answer. You ask the question.
Did not use the
Madam, you know the fact is till now, what you said, Madam, till now with what you, okay, once again.
To malaria and dengue.
Madam, once again, till now with what you had said that I condemn anyone who will use such language. By the end of your statement where you are saying they never use the word Muslim. Madam, don't take the citizens of India for a joke. Do not take the citizens of India for a joke. You and I both know what Pravesh Verma, what Kapil Mishra were referring to. Mughals. Tejasvi Surya used the word Mughals. Mughals are what? Hindus.
Do not lie.
Tejasvi Surya used the word Mughals. Mughals are what? Hindus.
Use the word Islam.
Mughals are what? Mughals are what?
You are indulging in
Mughals are what?
You are indulging in what? Preeti.
Mughals are what? Mughals are what? Mughals are what? All right, with that, madam, you know, the fact is you're my guest. You wanted to turn it around and have a debate with me. Feel free to do so. Join me the next time. Appreciate all our panelists for joining us because we've terribly run out of time. And sadly so, because it came down to a sparring match between the anchor and his spokesperson. But with that, a quick break. To stay with us on the other side is Rahul Kanwal.
उदयनिधि स्टालिन सनातन धर्म को समाप्त करने का उद्घोष करता है और कहता है कि हम सनातन धर्म को समाप्त कर देंगे, एबॉलिश कर देंगे, इस तरह की भाषा इस्तेमाल करता है। यह है परिवारवादी घमंडिया गठबंधन का घमंड और वो इस तरीके की बेतुकी बातें कहने में कोई गुरेज नहीं करते।
सनातन को कुचलने की हसरत वाले कितने ही खाक हो गए, हिंदुओं को मिटाने के ख्वाब पाले कितने ही राख हो गए। सुनो घमंडिया गठबंधन के घमंडियों, तुम और तुम्हारे मित्र रहे ना रहे, सनातन था, सनातन है और सनातन रहेगा।
वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन कैसे ये उसूली एतबार से पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी के हिसाब से बहरहाल ये सही नहीं है। इसका मतलब ये है कि ये जमहूरियत को ख़त्म करना चाहते हैं। ये लाकर और इस मसले को छेड़कर तो ये जमहूरियत को की जड़ों को खोखला करना चाहते हैं और हिंदुस्तान से जमहूरियत खत्म करके ये डिक्टेटरशिप लाना चाहते हैं। ये इन्होंने नया नारा सिर्फ इसलिए लगाया है चूंकि इन्हें अपनी हार दिखाई दे रही है।
Unwavering determination and a dream to represent India. Hailing from Kashmir's Kulgam district, 10-year-old specially abled Imad Nazir's love for cricket keeps him going. Imad draws his inspiration from Mahendra Singh Dhoni, but his own journey is an inspiration for many.
जब से मैंने क्रिकेट खेला है तब से मुझको महेंद्र सिंह धोनी फेवरेट प्लेयर है। मैं बॉलिंग भी करता हूँ, बैटिंग भी करता हूँ। मुझे डीसी साहब और एसओसी साहब ने मदद की। मैं आगे भी चाहता हूँ ऐसे मदद करे, मैं इंडिया का नाम रोशन करूँ।
Imad lost his mother when he was born. His father has been a constant support for him.
जो आपने ये वीडियो उठाया था वो वायरल हुआ और उसके जरिए